Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha Mumukshu Prakarana, section 18. A general essence of Yoga Vasishtha is being presented by Sage Vasishtha to Rama. A quintessence of what are the topics that you are going to study and what you are expecting to gain out of studying all this. Here's the shocking news. Samadrastyeva gambhiryam dhairyam mero riva sthitam antah sheetalata chendor rivodeti vicharina. Whoever assimilates the teaching, he will gain profundity of the ocean in his heart. That's what I'm saying, shocking news. Human heart is very shallow. Little things make it shaky. But you're going to develop a heart that's like boundless ocean. And all the rivers pour their waters along with many things. I'm not going into details. And the ocean remains just the same. Smiling, surging, shining, shimmering. So that will be the result of your studying the Yoga. You develop ocean-like heart. No commotion, no agitation. And invincibility like Meru Mountain. Meru Mountain is even profounder concept of even greater than Himalayas. Even Himalayas one day can collapse. It was. Before, the Himalayas were not there. There was just a smooth surface. That we will study geography for it. And third point, you will gain mystic coolness, like the full moon. So you are bringing ocean, mountain, and moon all in your heart. Sa jivan muktata tasya shanaiha parinatim gata shanta shesha visheshasya bhavatya vishayo giram. This movement is a progressive movement. Through this, the steps leading to enlightenment, progressive steps. One is led to Jivan Mukti, liberation in life. That state cannot be described by words. But here what has been mentioned is Bhumika Kram, that we have talked about and will be talking about it again and again and again. 7 steps of wisdom. Shubhecha, aspiration dawns in your heart. Vicharana, your mind doesn't waste time resolving the problem of why this cat went after the rat. Mind develops taste for understanding what is the source behind all your experiences. Are the senses telling you the right thing? If you are really advancing with your wisdom, answer is senses are not telling you the right thing. Everyone's senses tell things according to their own way. Because I'm not going into details of this. Your eyes don't have all the possibility of seeing. You have restricted eye vision. Many animals far excel human eyes. Therefore, in Ramayana story, the whole monkey army believed the vision of a vulture. I'm not going into that story. All your sense perceptions don't give you the exact reality. You look up to the sky and it looks so beautiful blue. 1,000 people, millions, I look up at the sky and this is a democratic vision. The sky is blue. This democracy is false. Just like mind becomes curious to understand when you study in schools and colleges. And that curiosity gives you great inspiration. But change that curiosity, bring it to another level. Curious about who am I? Why am I hiding? Where am I hiding? That's called vicharana. Mind involved in understanding, and there is nothing more joyous than gaining pure knowledge. Knowing various things of this world, that's a type of knowledge, but it's only a burden on your mind unless it is useful for you. That type of knowledge is not your goal. That becomes only a means to an end. The real knowledge, your mind understanding, developing that fascination for profound understanding. And there are steps. Two major steps. Understanding the role of God and how God can be loved by you. And then understanding God without his Maya, Brahman, the Absolute. One is called Bhakti, another is called Jnana. Devotion makes the path smooth, because the moment your heart has a taste for love, sadhana becomes, even difficult situations you can face easily. But ultimate goal is a revelation. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. So all that comes under that vicharana movement. The mind becomes interested in that profound project. And with that interest, you thank yourself, I'm a human being, did some good karmas to be a human person, be in human embodiment. If I were a rabbit, I couldn't grab the Upanishad. I'm joking. Third stage, vicharana. Human mind is terribly obese. Carries a burden after burden. How to reduce, remove the obesity of human mind? Tanu Manasi. Live with a mind that shimmers, that brings joy, brings inspiration in your heart. A mind that draws from the world all that is subtle, divine. The very fabric of the world is extremely divine, extremely inspiring. But the mind shuts its vision towards that subtlety of the world and keeps itself involved on the basis of ego-based concepts. Put it more in a philosophical way, Tanu Manasi means the impressions of kleshas, they begin to dwindle, wane. And among the kleshas, first kleshas are afflictions, ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, and fear of death. These are 5 great sources of making the mind terribly obese. Constant fear of death, constant shaking with raga and dvesha, attachment and hatred, experiencing the inflated ego, and living in a shut-up room, completely no outer glimpse of what is beyond. I'm giving you a simple way to understand. All these have created a lot of their impressions, that's called klisht samskaras. Those samskaras now begin to dwindle, just like a lot of dust has deposited or impurity and you clean it. These samskaras begin to diminish, it's called Tanu Manasi. Now your mind is not obese, it's light. So it handles situations in a joyous way. You are light like a bird. A big mountain is only inspiring. But if you are heavy like an elephant, even a little project becomes very perspiring. 4th step, when Tanu Manasi movement advances and mind becomes free of the pressure of illusions, clarity begins to dawn in your intellect. It's called sattvapatti, as if you have opened the window and your sunlight is beginning to pour. Once you have come to that stage, you will not be dependent upon your electrical lights. I'll give you an ordinary way to understand. will not only open the window, but open your big door and walk out of it. Sattva-apatti is a state as if you are opened. And you have now a profound revelation that you don't need artificial lights. Light of light is the reality and is available for you, more available than all the artificial things. The body is transient. It is not available all the time. Senses are transient. Mind and intellect, they are all insecure. But the light of the self, the absolute reality, that's absolute, perfectly secure. So when you come to fourth step, that's called Sattva-apatti, you become enlightened. That's called Jivan Mukti has started. You won't fall back. But now the Jivan Mukti gains maturity. In the fifth step, the whole world continues to be experienced by the sage, but a sage of enlightenment remains unaffected. Just like the clouds go on gathering in the sky, and the sky remains unscratched, untainted, unaffected. That's not the predicament when, if you are not enlightened. Every little situation develops, a little cloud of adversity comes, and your mind keeps the whole picture of that adversity and goes on staring at it day by day. In other words, I'm joking, but I'm explaining how human mind goes on reflecting upon things that happened in the past, expecting things how they should happen in future. And every happening creates a kind of scratch. You don't fill it up. Something happened 5 years back. Something happened which you don't even know, your mother tells you. And you become shaken. But that will not happen. No matter whatever may happen. Happening term relates to your mind, senses, ego, perceptions that come in the realm of mind, intellect, ego, and senses. They create the happenings that every individual has to go through. And behind all those happenings, the reality is the divine self. Divine self like the sky. And you have that potentiality to realize I am that absolutely untouched. The happenings have come and gone. In million lives, so many happenings have come and gone. They don't form your reality. Through those happenings, you cannot find a secure goal. In the realm of happenings, there is no absolute salvation. But behind all the happenings, pure awareness, called Chaitanya, that Chaitanya, once you realize I am not the ego self has no reality. I am the pure self. So I have been highlighting the state of Asam Sakti. Each state I am describing in an ideal way. But in spiritual progress, you attain that state gradually. You learn to be detached, learn to see things more in an objective way instead of being shaken by it. To the extent you are able to see things, see your situation as a sakshi, as an objective observer, to that extent you can do something about it, realize a situation that has developed is favorable or unfavorable. How can you use it to your advantage? That's possible if you are not shaken by it. If you are shaken by it, you simply collapse on your bed and cry, putting pillow on your neck. I'm joking. So that's the description of Asam Sakti. Next stage comes, it's called Padartha Bhavana. Very simple way to understand. After all that, when you are on your bed, you go to sleep. When you leap into sleep, nothing matters. Even the question of being detached from the world doesn't arise. That state, when intuitive knowledge has come to that maturity that all these are projections of the mind, they are not reality. And then in that state, as if you have shut out the whole world and entered into sleepless sleep. This is what people describe mauna, absolute silence. And going one step further, called turiya. Up till this state, we are giving you certain simile. Asam Sakti is like a dream. Padartha Bhavana is like going into deep sleep. But now, no similes can be given. It's called fourth, the transcendental, turiya. This is how the 7 steps are described. And these are the highlights of the teachings of Yoga Vasishtha. All the teachings are meant to lead you to through these 7 steps. 7 is the big mantra. 7 days in a week, 7 steps for attaining a realization. And it has gone into Hindu culture. Any great sacred occasion, 7 steps. People go through, circle the fire 7 times to secure friendship, to get a match, be married, and so forth. I'm not going into details. By practicing vichar, vichar means as you study, as you listen, listening is called shravana. After listening, as you go on listening, immediately along with shravana, mental reflection starts. You go on understanding it. But understanding what you have listened to takes its own course. Sometimes you listen today, I will understand 5 days later. It's just like giving crude illustration. Animals like cows, they eat a lot fast. But then when they are relaxing, they are chewing the cud. Similarly, in satsanga, you are eating fast. You retire, now you start bringing out what you listen to, chewing the cud, and enjoying. As a result, now it goes into your digestive movement. You assimilate it. Savana, manana, the third level for nididhyasana. You are assimilating it. As a result, you are gaining spiritual health. Gaining spiritual health is recovering, realizing who am I. The term health is swasthya. Swastha. Swa is self. Stha, rooted in the self. If you are rooted in yourself, you are healthy. Until then, you are suffering from disease. Medical line studies disease only as long as you are living in the embodiment. Spirituality studies disease even if you are not in your body. You are bhava vyadhi, the soul gripped by the disease of the world process, cycle of birth and death. And when that disease is worked upon and removed, you are gaining real health. Those people who practice vichar and go into assimilating the teaching, they gain that type of intuitive intellect that experiences Ishwar darshan, God realization. If you allow, as a result of studying and reflecting upon the teachings, if you allow the vivek, discriminative intellect, to wax, to become more and more, then as if you are allowing the sun, the light of the sun, to enter your heart. As a result of that, you will not be struck down by malas, gross impurities, kama, krodha, lobha, perverted desires, anger, greed, and so forth. All these are described in poetic terms like comets. Comets will not go into collision course with your personality. Kama, krodha, etc., like comets. And your whole personality is like the earth. You never know what comets can do. Keeps your earth in a state of vyarth, meaningless state, trembling. Just like in wintry season, undesirable clouds that are always haunting people by giving exaggerated rains. Those clouds now, they settle down on mighty mountains and they stay calm. Similarly, when you study these scriptures, all those clouds of karmas, samskaras, vasanas, that they are always threatening your peace and joy, they cool down, they calm down, and they simply stay hovering over big mountains. They don't know where to go. Just like children and those who are frightened by darkness. And during the darkness, they see so many shadows. The shadows become so exaggerated that we're constantly frightened. But all these frightening creatures disappear when the sun rises. In the same way, when your viveka buddhi begins to reveal to you that you are not the body, not the mind, you are Satchidananda, Aham Brahmasmi. The whole world is not your enemy. The whole world is an expression of your own self. It's like your entire dream world, while you are dreaming, they seem like a world separate from you. But reality is all your dream world and your dream subject, they have come out of you. They are you. When that type of vision grows, call it universal brotherhood, unity with the world, Atmadrishti, the whole world is nothing but the self. Maitri Drishti, the whole world is friendly, nothing negative in it. When that type of vision dawns, you have no reason to make your face ugly. Try to figure it out. When the vision is not, that vision is not there, your mind is constantly alert to dispel things that are not likable by you. And how do people do that? The face becomes twisted. Eyes become crooked. Teeth begin to stare out of the lips. If you go on doing that day by day, hour after hour, you end up being ugly. But if you have developed deep interest in that movement, which allows your heart to be more and more positive, compassionate, merciful, magnanimous, charitable, it shows through your whole personality. Not only your face, your fingers laugh. Adverse situations do not shake an aspirant who is following this spiritual path and assimilating the spiritual teachings. As this knowledge of the truth enters your heart, you will not slip into pitfalls. Think of a traveler passing through a forest. He doesn't know what that forest is and where the paths are. He has many risky situations. Sometimes he thinks level ground is very level and wonderful. Little greenery is also there. Puts his foot, it happens to be a marshy land. He goes deep into it. And then there are real pitfalls that you can see. But your feet don't have the health enough, and you slip into it. I'll give you elaborate allegorical setting of a passing through a forest. Same situation is with every individual. Led by your ego, no matter how clever you are, you cannot secure yourself against all the countless pitfalls the world presents. But when you have started practicing integral yoga in daily life, doing sadhana, and assimilating the spiritual teachings through satsanga, you will avoid. When you see any risky situation, you will know that it's to be avoided. It's a gaddha, mohgart. It's a pitfall. You will not show pity on the for the pitfall. Everybody will not fall into it. And your intellect develops one-pointed love for God because it has no other choice. The reality is only one. So where can the intellect, how can the intellect go in many areas? You have to understand it in a profound way. Godward movement implies mind becomes completely focused on one truth. And mind implies the intellect aspect. Buddhi within you has come to an understanding that God alone exists. The whole world is a maya, illusion. Just like when you see lots of illuminations, countless reflections of the sun, all that you see, but through a good mind you understand all this is nothing but the sun. Behind all reflections, all the rainbows, all the colorful clouds, what's one reality? The sun. As your buddhi, your understanding, turns towards the highest truth, God, you develop the capacity, develop a kind of inner dimension to understand that this world that you are facing is illusory. And in the realm of illusion, worlds cannot be counted. How many worlds are there? This point is highlighted in Yoga Vasishtha and given various similes. Say, for example, in a dark room, you see sometimes a beam of light coming. In the beam of light, you see so many sand particles scintillating, millions of them. Consider each scintillating particle as a universe. If you are in the realm of illusion, then that is the extension of the world, of the word universe. It is universe within universe, cosmos within cosmos. In modern times, you shouldn't have a hard time to understand that. Your computer is your guru. Create a program, a file, and in that, when you created one, what do you call it, file or what? Folder. Created one folder. Within that folder, you can create another folder. Within that folder, you can create another folder. Ordinarily looking, all this is just in a little stuff, little space. But it contains folder within folder, within folder. Similarly, when you turn to the world, it seems like, oh, this is what the world is. But your mind, with the Maya, cosmic illusion, so powerful that here is a cosmic computer. Every human mind has created its own type of computer. But all this should not burden your mind. Simply understand. Let the computer be on your desk. Go and do it your thing. Understand all this world arises out of your mind. Allow the mind to be God word, not Google word. I'm joking. Mokshopav paya avabodhena shuddhantah karanam janam na khedayati bhogau gau na chanandayati kvachit. As you go on assimilating, understanding the teachings, you gain purity of a heart, chitta shuddhi. Another term is shuddha antahakarana. Antahakarana refers to four-aspected mind: mind, intellect, ego, and unconscious. All together is described as mind. That mind becomes purified in every level. In unconscious level, your intellect operates in a purified manner. Your ego becomes interested in being humble. And your mind works in a way to pick up positive impressions. When that happens, all the four are channels to bring profound impressions, positive, divine impressions in your heart. As a result, your heart gains purity. Purity of a heart implies as if moon has started waxing in your heart. Yes, unique joy manifests in your heart. If that real joy starts within your heart, then worldly pleasures are nothing compared to that joy. So you go through the worldly pleasures and you remain untouched. You are not shaken, not elated because of worldly situations that are seen positive. You work, your work aspect is perfectly practical. The prosperous condition, sun is shining and there is no difficulty, you go through your project. But if sun doesn't shine and only rains, don't stay back weeping. In other words, when purity of heart begins to develop, worldly situations, whether positive or negative, they don't bother you. Negative situations come when you are, as I have explained, you are like the sky. Negative situations are simply clouds. Clouds do not really touch the sky. They seem like being in the sky, but they don't have anything to do with it. In describing, I'm always coming to the ideal, the highest. In practical teaching, your goal is allow yourself not to be shaken and adopt proper measure for it. Proper measure is depending upon what situation you are facing. Proper measure, firstly, direct your self-effort according to your common sense. What is the problem and how can you handle it? Second point, turn your attention to receiving divine grace by your prayer, by your japa. Third point, engage yourself into something positive. Do not stay brooding over the negative. You've gone into a garden and you are seeing a little spider's network and finding little fleas caught. And sit back. I'm compassionate. Look at that misery that's. What is the cure? Turn your attention from it. You look into these flowers. Look at the river, look at the lake, or whatsoever. Giving you highly allegorical way. The world provides various possibilities for you. Do not choose to remain depressed. Even in the depressing situation, find what are the tasks you are waiting for you, and what task can give you a little more comfort. Switch your attention. For a general idea, if you can create an opportunity to help others, acts of charity, help of others in any way, physical problem, psychological problem, or even bring about a little inspiring situations, sing some kirtan, dance a little. Keep yourself involved in a constructive movement, and you find that depressive state moves away, and it just flies away. And if you can do that, it gives you an internal courage and an art of success in whole life. So adversity, you don't face adversity as a complete helpless situation, but to help it as a awakener of your inner strength, a discovery that you are being led by God within you. You are not just helpless. Therefore, advanced aspirants or people who are in a higher level, if things become favorable, they are not elated. They go through it, they flow through it, favorable things. If things are not favorable, they don't find themselves lost. But that's one state. Another stage, if things are favorable, use that favorable condition for being spiritually enriched. Do something more exciting, inspiring. And if things are not favorable, leave no stone unturned to deal with that situation. See what's within your power. What can you do to alter that situation? But in a rational way. Irrational way, how can I beat it out? And with this I'm going to conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.